indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Miss Alicia, may we get a roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Chauvin,
Here.
Mr. Trusclair, Mr. Pleasure, Mr. Harding, Mr. Poison, Mr. Amity, Mr. Champagne, Mr. Hamner, Mr. Babin. Madam Chairwoman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. A motion to amend the condemnation order originally adopted on July 29th, 2025 on the residential structure located at 215 Knockan Street, Unit B, owned by Estate Dorothy M. and George Gills Jr., care of Rosalind M. Gills, by changing the deadline to complete demolition and/or removal of the structure from October 28, 2025 to January 27th, 2026. Moved by Mr. Wazan, seconded by Mr. Moved by Mr. Harding, seconded by Mr. Trosclair. Seeing no lights, vote your machines. 9 yeas. Motion passes. Motion to amend the condemnation order originally adopted on January 28, 2025 on the residential structure located at 5438 North Bayou Black Drive, owned by Myron and Wilma Ruffin, by changing the deadline to complete demolition and/or removal of the structure from July 29, 2025 to January 27, 2026. Moved by Mr. Harding, second by Mr. Trosclair. Mr. Harding?
Yes, I know that we have condemnation hearing. I had these two items 1 and 2 on here. One person is out of town. We're working with nuisance and abatement, and they actually, she's out of town. So the other one is they needed more time to demolish the home. So we're still making progress. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Harding. Seeing no more lights, vote your machines. 9 yeas, motion passes. Resolution authorizing the parish president to enter into the appropriate agreement with Delta Coast Consultants LLC for engineering services related to the downtown culvert Dunn Street Replacement Advanced Assistance Study. Moved by Mr. Champagne. Second by Mr. Harding. Seeing no lights, vote your machines. 9 yeas. Resolution passes. Resolution authorizing the parish president to execute amendment number 1 and change order 001 to the contract with Briscoe Construction Company relative to the derelict vessel removal program for Bayou Grand Caillou. Moved by Mr. Babin, seconded by Mr. Champagne. Mr. Harding?
Yes, ma'am, Miss Candace. The original 18, so we're doing 15, we did 15. So that 15 cost us about 138, and then we're asking for an additional, well, we're gonna actually provide 328,000 more. 4.
4. I got it. She just put it on.
Yes, sir. And this is all being covered by our insurance line item from Hurricane Ida recovery. So yes, sir, we're adding so that we originally had 28 vessels. No, I'm actually probably can
18.
answer this one better than me.
Okay, Ms.
Yeah.
Leerette. Go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. So originally, with our first scope of work, we identified 18-ish vessels. I think it was 18 to 20. We did not know how much that would cost, right? So after the bid came back, we were able to determine how much roughly each one of these vessels would cost, and realized we still have more capacity in our budget for this. So at that point, we added more vessels to the contract, or requested that.
Yeah, when I did the numbers, it added up to like 138 with the first project, and we had 49 that was left over because those 3 others were actually taken care of by the owners. So are we adding to the 516 that we allotted? That goes along with the 328, so it make a total of 377 that we're gonna actually use then?
That sounds about right. So that the insurance funding is in the ballpark around $700,000 total for derelict vessel removal. And we started in Grand Caillou because we had the highest concentration, which allowed us to cut down on our demob and mob costs to pull more out. So
Yeah, I just want to make sure everything's, thank you.
Mr. Amadei?
insurance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Noah, from what I read in the backup, we had in for the original 18, we did 15, but we're adding 23 more.
That sounds right.
Okay, that's what I read. I just want to make sure.
23.
Yeah, Chris is saying, yeah, thank you.
Just so y'all know, there are more that we're identifying.
Oh, we know there's more,
So there's plenty.
Just gotta
That's
find
not,
money.
that's not the end of it.
right?
How many more did I call you this week?
I think the problem is some of it is that people are adding to it. They're moving boats and they're sinking and adding to it. Mr. Babin?
Yeah, along the same lines of this, and I know we talked about it before. It's wonderful that we have this money that's gonna take care of this. But somewhere down the line, we need to make the penalty fit the crime. And I'll talk to Ms. Neal about that. If people are knowingly moving boats, or people are knowing that their vessels are sinking and they allow them to sink, I don't think it should be our parish responsibility. I think we need to come up with some ordinance that I think LaFouche may have. Noah, you and I talked about that maybe 7, 8 months ago. LaFouche, I think, has just instituted a different ordinance. And again, I'm not trying to get into that tonight, but this is the district I represent, and this program is working extremely well.
A little bit more on that. So we've had some conversations with Wildlife and Fisheries on what we can do to enforce, and how we can partner with the state to make sure we discourage that kind of activity. And we have some good ideas, and we'll be calling a meeting soon with y'all to discuss that.
Okay, so, and just before, I do want to let you know that I have contacted Michelle and I sent an email in about it, same conversation that I had with Noah and, Jason regarding the amount of boats and the personal responsibility that needs to be taken on that. Mr. Harding?
Yeah, isn't that a list that we already have with the Coast Guards? I think the sheriff office that went out there made a list, so we can actually know what's actually new and what's not new. Can't we find that out?
Yes, sir, we do. From
Okay.
IDA, actually. So it's been kind of a evolving list. Not many have been removed, but a lot have been added. And some of those boats don't have ID numbers, so it's kind of hard to see what ownership is, but we're working on it.
Yeah, and it may go along with Mr. Babin saying, because I agree with him, you know what I mean? It's just like when we had people that was storm damage, you know what I mean? They were actually trying to qualify for things that they were not actually really beneficiaries of that particular program.
Yeah, and I want to add,
Go ahead.
in 4 waterways, of course, we got more than 4 waterways, but in 4 definite waterways, we identified 232 vessels. And one of the things on the first pickup, we identified 30 vessels, of which the owners took care of everything but 14, and we only had to pick up 14. So this is the next phase after that 14 that we originally picked up.
Okay, Mr. Babin?
Yeah, what you're alluding to, Carly, is something that the sheriff did for me a year and a half, 2 years ago. They got actually Water Patrol took care of that and got, and isolated all of them, not just in by Grand Kaya, but from Chauvin to Pointe-aux-Chenes to Montague to by Delord. So it's a very good program and it's working well.
Okay, seeing no more lights, vote your machines. 8 yeas, motion passes. 9 yeas, Mr. Babin voted yea. Resolution giving notice of intent to adopt an ordinance to amend the zoning map of the parish of Terrebonne so as to rezone from R1 Single Family Residential to R2 Two-Family Residential, Lot 14, Block 2, Barreltown Subdivision, 2620 Isaac Street, Houma, Louisiana, Ironman Properties of America LLC applicant, and calling a public hearing on said matter for Wednesday, December 10th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Moved by Mr. Pledger. Seconded by Mr. Babin. Seeing no lights, vote your machines. 9 yeas, resolution passes. Motion to adjourn by Mr. Amade. Second by Mr. Pledger, vote your machines. And we are done.
There you go.
not Trent. Notice to the public, if you wish to address the council, please complete the wishing to address the council form located on either end of the counter and give it to either the chairman or the council clerk prior to the beginning of the meeting. All comments must be addressed to the council as a whole. Addressing individual council members or staff is not allowed. Speakers should be courteous in their choice of words and actions, and comments shall be limited to the issue and cannot involve individuals or staff-related matters. All cell phones and electronic devices used for communication should be silent for the duration of the meeting. I'd like to call the Terrebonne Parish Council Budget and Finance Committee meeting to order. We'll have an invocation by Mr. John Amade and a pledge by Mr. Danny Babin.
Dear Lord, I pray that you guide us so that this meeting can be productive, Lord, that it would satisfy the needs of the community that need to be met, and Lord, let it be fruitful. Lord, I ask that you strengthen us as we make the decisions presented before us, and let us be effective and decisive. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Miss Alicia, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Ms. Chauvin, Mr. Trusclair, Mr. Pleasure, Mr. Harding, Mr. Voisin, Mr. Amity, Mr. Champagne, Mr. Hamner, Mr. Babin. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum present.
Thanks. Item number 1, authorizing the parish president and/or his designee to execute a sub-recipient agreement for funding through Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery, CDBG DR funds between Terrebonne Parish Waterworks, TPCW, District Number 1, and Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, TPCG. Move Mr. Danny Babin, second Mr. John Amady. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 8-0, motion passes. Item number 2, approving the state contract purchase of one Ford F-350 utility body truck for the Drainage Division. Move Mr. Clyde Hamner, second Mr. Danny Babin. Mr. Carl Harding.
Item 2 and item 3 come from the same spot because where did this vehicle come from? 3 has a name, 2 doesn't. Where it came from? It says state contract. It's the same. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I know sometimes it's easier.
You good, Candace?
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
I'll turn your light off. You good, Ms. Harding?
Yes.
Thanks. Did we vote on that? Members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item number 3, approving the purchase of 2 Ford F-250. Sorry? Approving the purchase of 2 Ford F-250 utility body trucks and 1 Ford F-450 4x4 from Lamarck Crescent City Ford through a cooperative purchase agreement with the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office for the Drainage Division of the Public Works Department. Move Mr. Clyde Hamner, second Mr. Danny Babin. Seeing the lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Mr. Trusclair?
Yes, Kenneth, I got a question, along the lines of Carly. We getting all these vehicles from, through state contract with Lamarck Ford. And it looks like we did a CEA with Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, I guess, for, volume discounts. Why would we not put the first one on with the same thing, or does it make any difference?
Candace?
The first one was a little bit of a different truck, so it probably wasn't available through that CEA. And
Okay.
there's really not a big difference in it.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Candace. Seeing no, next item. Item number 4, awarding bid 25-FUEL rebid bulk fuel requirements contract for gasoline, off-road diesel, and on-road diesel and off-road diesel to the lowest qualified bidder, Gulf Coast Fuel and Lube LLC and Cyark Oil and Fuel. Move, Mr. Danny Babin. Second, Mr. Kevin Charles Champagne. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item number 5, providing for the acceptance of work performed by Norris and Bujo Contractors LLC in accordance with the certificate of substantial completion. Move, Mr. Danny Babin, second, Mr. Clyde Hamner. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item number 6, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2025 adopted operating budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following item: juvenile detention, $139,409, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Move, Mr. Carl Harding. Second, Mr. John Amity. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item number 7, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2025 adopted operating budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items: Bayou Country Sports Park, $175,000, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Move, Mr. Clyde Hamner. Second, Mr. John Amity. Mr. Carl Harding.
Yes, Candace, I said I was gonna ask this question. We often, actually have, money, going to the Bayou Country Sports Park, and we had some numbers that we were talking about, before. Is there, some type of numbers that we actually have, knowing what we spend, what's the direction that we're going in, how much we are projecting to spend in the future, and the possibility, not tonight, of course, how much we have spent, how much we plan to spend? Just to get those numbers in, because we having money being put there, but I want to know and see if we have the 5 years capital outlay plan in reference to how this is associated with our money.
Yes, sir. So this is for the actual Bayou Country Sports Park. This is for the actual operations of the park. So it's not the 5-year capital outlay, but we have that as well, and we're working on that reconciliation. But we can get you the financial statements for the last, up to year to date now, and then for the last couple of years for this specific fund to show you how it's operating.
Yeah, and perhaps I'll give Dean a call or whoever later on then. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Candace. Mr. Harding, you're good?
Good.
Thank you. Members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item number 8, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2025 adopted operating budget and the 5-year capital outlay budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items: sewerage fund, $31,275, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Move, Mr. Danny Babin, second, Ms. Kim Chauvin. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item number 9, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2025 adopted operating budget and 2025 5-year capital outlay budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items: general fund, negative $65,000, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Move, Mr. Danny Babin, second, Ms. Kim Chauvin. Mr. Steve Trosclair.
Yes, thank you. Okay, to back up, it says that we taking this money from capital projects. What project are we taking this from?
It wasn't a particular project. It was just added into that fund itself, and we didn't need it at the time, so we're just moving it back out.
All right, thanks.
Ms. Candace, Ms. Trosclair. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item number 10, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2025 adopted operating budget and the 2025 5-year capital outlay budget of Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items: capital projects, control, $55,000, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Move, Mr. Danny Babin. Second, Ms. Kim Chauvin. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. You good, Mr. Trustclair? You good? Oh, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so if we take a 65 out of capital projects, now we put 55 back in, explain that to me.
We're changing the funding source, so it's coming from general fund to become sales tax capital fund funding source.
Okay, thanks,
So the net effect is zero. It's just changing the actual funding source that's going into that fund.
thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Candace. Okay, members vote your machines. Votes 8-0, motion passes. Item number 11, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2025 adopted operating budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items. Item number 1, LIHEAP, $42,276, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, November 19th at 6:30 PM. Move, Mr. Danny Babin, second, Mr. John Amade. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 8-0, motion passes. Item number 12, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2025 adopted operating budget of Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following item. Item number 1, Bayou Country Sports Park, $31,065, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Move, Mr. Clyde Hamner. Second, Mr. Danny Babin. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item number 13, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2025 adopted operating budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items. Item number 1, LCLE, $24,300, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Move, Mr. John Amade. Second by Mr. Clyde Hamner. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item number 14, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2025 adopted operating budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items. Item number 1, LCLE, $90,000, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Move, Mr. Danny, move Mr. Clyde Hamner, second, Mr. John Amade. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Yes. Votes 8-0, motion passes. Item number 15, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2025 adopted operating budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items. Item number 1, LCLE, $78,500, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Move, Ms. Kim Chauvin, second, Mr. Clyde Hamner. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item number 10, consider the introduction. Item number 16, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend Chapter 30, Elections District and Precinct, Section 30-2 of the Terrebonne Parish Code of Ordinances to merge certain voting precincts and to establish new boundaries for merged precincts and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Move, Mr. Danny Babin. Second, Mr. John Amade. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item number 17. Ms. Candace, can you turn your light on, please? Absolutely. To item number 17, to review the proposed 2026 budget for the following funds, departments, agencies. And from here, I'll have a PowerPoint, right?
Mhm.
I'll pass it on to Ms. Candace, and just for everybody's information, if you have questions, comments, concerns, whatever, just bring that forward while we're going through the process. And also just to note that nothing's finalized yet. This is the part where it's all under review for everybody. So take notes and make sure you conduct yourselves accordingly. Mr. Kevin Champagne first, Ms. Candace, I'm sorry.
I know last time we had problems with the thingy upside down. Are these being put on the website? Somebody was asking me if it's on the website yet, because we said we were.
I'll make sure it gets up there tomorrow.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Candace, it's all yours, or if you got the clicker.
I do, yes, sir. All right, so we'll start with our dedicated emergency fund. So we all know that this one is where we pay all of our emergency response with, as well as the funding coming back from insurance and FEMA and all of that for Hurricane Ida. The only expenditures that we have in 2026, excuse me, are the principal and interest for those hurricane recovery bonds. We recognize those expenditures and those revenues coming in throughout the year through budget amendments. So that's why you don't have anything for 2026, because that's the only promised expenditure that we will have for that fund. All right, next.
He thought his job was gonna be easy tonight.
Uh-huh. Sit back and relax.
No, I've just got a simple question, just basically for the public. This account is pretty fluid because it's always got money going in and out. We have an emergency, we pay things out, we get reimbursed. So, like you say, they're not gonna see anything till that stuff starts rolling
sir.
in, so.
Yeah, and
Nobody needs to be nervous about it.
no, sir. And there was a lot of, you'll see the proposed fund balance is, the 23 million. That's some insurance funding in there. That's some FEMA advancements. That's some state money that we got. So it really just takes a reconciliation at the end of each year to get all of it done and
Yep.
budgeted.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Amity. Ms. Candace?
All right, next is our Terrebonne juvenile detention. So all of this information was presented to you through an email on Thursday of last week, I think. So I'll just kind of leave it up there, and if y'all have any questions as we go through, I'll try to answer as best as I can. All right, no questions on this one. We will continue to some of the budget highlights, as well as some of the increases and decreases for juvenile detention. Next is going to be our parish prisoners fund. So first we'll talk about it overall. So this is the proposed revenues, transfers, expenditures. And then we'll go into the actual parish prisoners department. And our prisoners medical department.
Okay, Ms. Candace, if we can hold tight there at the Parish Prisoners Fund, what I'd like to do is, so we don't draw this out tonight, what I want to do is sit with yourself and I guess if Parish President's available and also get a representative from the jail.
Yes, sir.
So we can sit down. There's a few things that I want to look at and it goes back to the $500,000 we had to kind of emergency, declaration we had to get done to move forward with the jail for some issues we had there. So I would like to sit down with you guys so we can kind of figure some things out that after looking at it a little bit and diving into it, see if we can
Yes, sir.
figure out what we can do.
We can get that set up. And we have been working really closely with the sheriff and trying to get some of these expenses reduced as much as we can and kind of work together and make sure that we're not kicking the can down the road and actually making repairs as they're needed.
Easy enough. I'm good. Mr. Champagne? I'm sorry.
I was just looking at the numbers, and one of the things that was kind of confusing to me was that we're projecting more medical services, but less exams on that first, the goals and objective part.
Okay.
So that seems kind of, it didn't really add up to me.
Yes, sir.
So,
I'll follow up on that.
yeah.
Yeah. So we do the numbers part of it and the departments do the goals and the mission. So
Right.
sometimes we don't always
But we're
verify
decreased-
that they match, but we'll
Yeah,
make sure we do
okay.
that.
Just-
Absolutely.
Ms. Chauvin?
Candace, on the feeding and keeping of prisoners, I see like 871, which is a decrease of 650.
Yes, ma'am. So we are not decreasing the feeding and keeping of the prisoners. What we are is we're decreasing the per diem that we had increased a couple of years ago. So we're going back to what the per diem is required by state law for us to pay to feed and keep the prisoners.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Chauvin. Ms. Candace?
Next is our prisoners' medical department. Okay, so we'll start with our public safety fund. So this is, of course, City of Homa Fire and Police. So these are our revenues and our transfers and some of the budget highlights for the revenues. And then this is for our police department. And then we have,
I'm sorry, Mr. Clyde Hamner.
Can we go back one? The budget highlight for school safety and ad valorem taxes, is that where SROs are funded or anything?
so yes and no to answer that question. So the ad valorem tax, we have agreements with the school board and some of the private schools. So this can be used specifically for school safety. It is up to the school systems and the actual schools to determine if it's going to fund an SRO or if it's going to be a capital improvement for school safety. But that is what it is. It's the school safety.
Thanks, Mr. Hamner. Ms. Candace?
All right, so back to the police department. And then we have our fire department. Next, we have our city marshals fund. And next, we have our GIS technology fund. Ooh, fund. That's a typo. Maybe so. Next is our coastal restoration fund.
Got a question for you on that one, Candace.
Yes, sir.
On the proposed transfer in 137, an increase of 25,125, 22.43%. So that was transferred in from the general fund?
From the general fund into coastal restoration. All right, next is our parish transportation fund.
Mr. Carl Harding?
Yes, negative 74.51. Just explain what it
Can you
cut.
tell me where you're seeing that in the book itself?
Yeah.
So what it is, probably is we assume that all of the expenses are expensed in 2025.
Mhm.
And we only add what we have. Yeah, we only add what we know we're going to get for 2026. So that's why there's a big decrease between the 2025 budget and what is 2026. So when we start 2026, whatever is not spent 2025, we carry it over and it becomes part of the budget for 2026. So it looks like a big decrease, but it's really not, depending on how the expenditures fall.
Good.
Mr. Harding? Ms. Candace?
Next is our road and bridge fund. So these are our revenues and expenditures and the ending fund balance. And then this would be the actual expenditures and the departments. Next is our drainage fund. So this is the overall revenues and expenditures and fund balance. And then we have the actual expenditures and departments.
Mr. Carr-Hardy?
Yes, that's, well, it says major expenditures, 2.1. I think it is.
2.1 million, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Is that the old miscellaneous account that we usually have?
No, sir. I believe this has always been under other contracts and liabilities for this, other contracts and leases, not liabilities, for the 2.1 million.
Okay, all right.
This one?
I got you, Clyde.
Give Steve a light.
Yeah, that's fine.
He had to think about it.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you. Candace, so we had proposed expenditures of 18,768, which is a decrease of 1.6 million. So what are we decreasing?
Capital outlay. So when we're looking, remember last time we had budget hearings, we kind of talked about you have proposed expenditures, which is going to be the total overall, and it's going to include capital outlay, and it's going to include any allocations. So when we go to the second slide and we talk about the proposed operating expenditures before allocations, it's the 18 million. Oh, and it's still a $1.6 million decrease. I'd have to look at that and let you know.
Okay, thanks.
But I'll get back with you. But a lot of it does have to do with the capital outlay. That's a one-time expenditure for 2025 compared to 2026.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mr. Trusclair. Mr. Hamner?
Going back to drainage fund continued under major expenditures, the first bullet. Explain, expand on acreage rotation.
I cannot explain that to you, but I believe Mr. David Rome is in here tonight, and I think he could probably explain that a lot better than I could.
Okay. You want to do that? Okay.
Hello, I'm David Rome, Public Works Director, 206 Government Street. For our other contracts and leases, that 2.1 is for the vegetation maintenance for laterals. The rotations are 3 a year. So that is total cut, spray, everything.
Okay, but that's why I'm asking, does expand on the acreage rotation mean we're going to increase the rotations
That is the goal,
from
yes,
3
sir.
to say 4, 5, or 6?
That is our goal, yes, sir.
Great. She wants it all. I'll trade you a bridge for a rotation.
Let me get my book now.
Is that it for drainage? Yeah. Okay. Oh, we have some capital purchases here too. Oh, no, I got that one in there for you. All right, next we have our Terrebonne Levy and Conservation District. This is the sales tax that we collect on their behalf. This is also where we pay the bond premium and interest for the Merganza to the Gulf bonds that we have, and then anything that is left over beyond that reserve that we keep in there will get transferred to the levy district for their operations. So this year they will have $4 million available for their drawdown. Our criminal court fund, we have revenues and transfers. And last but not least here, we have all of our grant funds that are grouped into one. So you'll see the revenues and the expenditures. We only recognize grants as we know that they have been awarded. So those are the only ones that are included in here. We do have some general fund supplements, and we do have some personnel changes. And y'all must be ready to go home tonight. That is all that we have.
Motion to adjourn by Ms. Kim Chauvin, second by Mr. Clyde Hamner. Seeing no further lights, members vote your machines. Votes 8-1, motion passes.
The person who voted nay has to stay.
Clayton.